Hell of a way to wake up.
In case you missed part 1, I'm in Chaumont-sur-Loire after cycling from Orléans to the nearby 11th century castle before spending the night in a houseboat on the Loire.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome back to my houseboat. Had some nice sleep last night. Woke up pretty early to lots of birds chirping. It kind of reminded me of, the beginning of an orchestral performance when everybody's tuning and getting their instruments ready. So that was a lovely way to wake up. Anyways, for today, we're pulling a little bit of an audible because unfortunately there's a lot of rain in the forecast in the afternoon. And I'm not talking about 20% chance. Ooh. This is 50% chance at noon and then boom, 100% the rest of the day. You're definitely gonna get hit. And I want to avoid that, especially because my last stop to my hotel does not have a train option because they're kind of outside of the cities. So I need a bike and I would like to stay dry. So what we're gonna do instead is have this coffee, hopefully breakfast comes soon, and then I'm gonna hop on the bike, go to my first stop, which is the last place that Leonardo da Vinci lived. I know what you're thinking, Leonardo da Vinci, Italian, he would have been in Italy. No, we're right here in the Loire Valley. Who'd have thunk it? So I'm gonna go see where he ended up in his last days, and then I'm gonna keep cycling a little bit more to a wine cave for a little wine tasting. Then after that, I just go to the hotel early, which honestly I'm kind of fine with after schlepping around in the sun all day yesterday, which, ultimately I love, but my skin got hit a little bit. I'm an idiot and forgot sunscreen. I almost said ice cream. Don't rub ice cream into your skin. Eat the ice cream. Rub the sunscreen into your skin. So I definitely got to the end of yesterday and was feeling a bit zapped. So, if the afternoon ends up being chill at a nice hotel, that's fine by me. But for now, I got coffee to drink and I gotta get moving. Well, isn't this just lovely? Look what just came onto my boat balcony, I guess. Nice little basket of yummies. Got some orange juice. Looks like some pastries. Oh, a jar of strawberries and some fruit. Cool. Gonna dive in. So originally I looked up on Google Maps what time this first stop where Leonardo da Vinci lived open, and it said 10 a.m. on Google Maps, but I've been getting kind of antsy, so I looked on the website. Can you tell I've had a lot of coffee? I looked on the website, and it looks like during this time of year, it's actually open at 9. So that means I could have left a little bit ago, but I got these wonderful fresh strawberries, so I'm chowing down on these like a freaking chipmunk and having more coffee. Yeah. And I'm gonna get going. No, you can hear me. The wind is already tears in my eyes. Times like these, I wish I could just clip in and climb this thing instead of pound on these pedals like a hamster in a wheel. Like that I had to clarify hamster in a wheel. Where else would you be a hamster? Hills are our friends. That's what my father-in-law always says. Not feeling very friendly right now, though. Alright, well, I'm awake now. Holy hell. I want bonus points for doing that on this kind of a bike. Jesus Christ. Looks like the wineries are up and at 'em, harvesting perhaps. So the path today has been much more wavy. Really wishing I could clip in, because I think it'd be fun to just, go down those descents and push yourself on the climbs. Also, the path has been on shared road
far more often than yesterday. Like yesterday I was basically never sharing it with cars, but for most of it today so far, I've been sharing it with cars. I arrive at Clos, where loads of school children are trotting around the grounds like lemmings with their matching colored hats to admire the home where Leonardo da Vinci spent the last 3 years of his life. The Tuscan artist and inventor moved to the chateau in 1516 at the invitation of King Francis I. Because da Vinci turned out to be the most famous resident, the chateau has been converted into a museum of his life's work while giving a glimpse into where he lived and slept during the last few years of his life. The exhibitions touch not only on his artistic career, but on some of the more interesting to bizarre designs he concocted for military equipment, like a large, wide cone tank shaped like a Hershey's Kiss. Well, I did quite the quick tour there of Da Vinci's old digs. I didn't realize how much military equipment he was interested in designing, like that little tank that he said could replace elephants. That was interesting. Also weird that we ever use elephants for war. Anywho, just gonna walk around this garden very quick before I hop back on my bike to continue on to what will be a early wine tasting for the day. Alright, this is more like it. I thought the first bit of riding to the Da Vinci place, I can't pronounce it, I'm just gonna call it the Da Vinci place. Didn't think that was particularly beautiful. Plus I didn't love having to share the road with cars. But this is more like yesterday and I'm liking it. Just pause to take my jacket off real quick, and if I'm not mistaken, those birds I'm hearing, more great tits. I think I'm becoming a birder. And if you think when I'm talking about great tits, I'm talking about anything other than the profound admiration of birds, then maybe you need some self-reflection. It's 2025. It's like Michael Jackson said, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. And good thing he never did anything questionable. There's bike parking for the wine tasting. Alright, I'm thirsty. The Maison Laudaucious wine cave was built in 1961 into a limestone cliff that keeps the bottles cooling at around 12 degrees Celsius. At the end here takes me through the tasting. Yeah, these are the kinds I like. I'm not like, I don't know a ton about wine, but I just know I like dry and this kind of flavor profile.
It's dry, but it's very fresh also. It was opened in 1961, sorry. We have today 14 wine growers, and the specialty of the winery is to make traditional wines from Louis, dry, sparkling, or maybe more sweet also.
And you said you're making 1 million bottles
1 million bottles a year.
And you have 3 million stored elsewhere.
Yes, in our cellar, yes.
It's a lot of wine. And how did you get involved in wine?
I'm not from here, I'm from the north of France, so we do not have wines in, in the north. But it was a great passion. I always like the product, I always like how we make wine, how we sell wine, how we make the labels, how we make the vinification and everything. So it was written in my life to
do this.
To do this, yes.
There are worse things to have written in your life.
Yes, maybe.
I know I can, but I just can't bring myself to pour it out. I mean, you love this stuff. Does a little part of you die inside every time you pour some of it out?
Yes.
All right, I'm back on the bike.
And while I'm not saying that I had too much wine, because that would be irresponsible, I am saying that on occasion I have been going wee, because it was fun cycling. Let's turn here. Alright, so for the rest of this route, I am on the Loire Valley trail, but I'm also hopping back off to get to the hotel, so I'm gonna pack away this camera because I got to concentrate, so I make sure I get to the hotel safely. With my taste buds buzzing in the finest flavors of the Loire Valley, I coast for another 40 minutes to Le Haut Rouge, where I'll be spending the night. So I just walked into my hotel room, and I'm nervous to go any further than the doorway because, how do I put this? It's a very nice hotel room, and I kind of think I have no business being in here. I'm wondering if they mixed me up for somebody else. I mean, look at this. There is a bust of somebody in my room. I honest to God don't know if I've been willingly welcomed into a room with a bust before. I've said this before in previous videos, perhaps even the most recent one. You should go watch that, because I don't think it got the views that I would really like it to have gotten. But I know I've said this in previous videos that if reincarnation is real, I'm afraid I'm coming back as a dung beetle. Because this does not suck. And I almost certainly do not deserve it.
Not wanting to sully the place with my aura of dried sweat and insecurity, I retreat to the bar for a late lunch, a tomato salad with a massive dollop of burrata. I then head back to my room for a hot bath.
You know, this is probably the closest I'll ever get to an OnlyFans. So, drink it in, or grab a trash can to the side of you and vomit. I really don't know what your preference is.
Over time, I'm able to start washing away some of the imposter syndrome.
Now, as a guest of this fine establishment, and let's be honest, as somebody who has absolutely no business being in a place like this, it's important that I compose myself, conduct myself to the high standards that such an establishment surely demands. But first...
Boy, that was oddly satisfying. Next time, I end my ride along the Loire with stops at the part American castle of Chateau Villandry and the fortress of Chinon with all kinds of Joan of Arc history. See you next week!